Do you feel, guys, that the situation around Celtic obviously kind of reached a crescendo, even though it was a bit of a damp squib in the end that come on with the protests and all that? Do you feel it's just starting to settle down again and fade away the noise, or is this just a lull? And as soon as the accounts come back out, it's crash bang wallop.
Yeah, listen, I think that as long as Celtic are winning games, Keith, then the noise will dissipate. I think you just need to keep winning. Rangers are obviously struggling at the minute, which helps, but Celtic need to keep winning games. I thought they were fortunate to get the penalty at the weekend. Obviously you've been speaking about it all week. I think if you're in the Kilmarnock camp, you're absolutely bealing about that penalty getting given against you. But we know the handball rules are ambiguous at the minute. 1 week you can get it, 1 week you don't get it. So there's going to be, guys raging from week to week and people getting decisions that they shouldn't and people getting decisions that they should. So that's just a handball rule at the minute. But in terms of Celtic, they just need to keep winning games. The protest was a bit of a damp squib, let's be honest. I don't think it made a blind bit of difference to the board at Celtic. And the only thing that will keep the fans on side is by winning games every week. And with Rangers struggling, just try to keep Hearts at bay at the minute.
Do you not think this is different this time, Tam? I know that we've been here before with Celtic and the supporters and kind of rifts and schisms and all that. It does feel a bit different this time in terms of the intensity. I think you're right. I think there'll be a percentage of the Celtic support who'll just settle back down. The games keep coming. Celtic can get themselves into a semi-final. They're sitting joint top with Hearts in the league. So I think there's an element of the Celtic support that will just get back to normal business. But I think, Michael, you've said to me previously, there's another kind of element to this which doesn't feel as if results on the pitch will just make everything go away.
I just think I think you're going to hear another outcry when they announce the financial figures in the next, any minute now. That's going to cause an outcry because it could be 80 million plus in the bank, and that's going to drive folk nuts again. So that's going to flare it up again, right? Anytime there's a bump in the road, if they lose in Belgrade next week because the signings weren't good enough or done early enough, if they lose domestically at any point in time, which I think they're going to lose games domestically. I think the squad is imbalanced. I think there's gaps in it. I don't think they're anywhere near as good as they were last year or the year before. So every time they hit a bump in the road, it's going to be because of this window. You've also got the manager situation. And listen, you've got a manager who's getting briefed against by club insiders and all. So that's got to have some sort of conclusion, whatever it is. His future is going to be in the cloud over the club the whole season. Well, even winning games, say they win a treble, and then Rodgers walks away. He's walking away. The club haven't matched his vision, which he said to them, "Match my vision, and I want to stay." So they could lose their most successful manager since Jock Stein because of their lack of matching his vision. So it's never going to go. I think it's going to just rumble on all season. Every bump in the road, even when they do well, they're going to say, well, that guy, look at the last weekend. Chinecti, his man of the match in his debut, played really well. The first thing Rodgers says is, I wish I had him a fortnight ago. So everything's just hanging over them. I think there's a recipe for disaster, I think, this season. It could really go, it could be constantly just aggro all year.
But Mick, they'll get away with that now because they're winning. I think it totally turns the other way if Celtic start to lose games. You're right. I think they'll start to turn, severely in the wrong direction if Celtic start losing games and Rangers get their act together. I think I think they're quite happy. The board are like, okay, it's fine just now. We're top of the league. Rangers are struggling. It's all everything's good. But as you said, if Rangers pick up a couple results, Celtic maybe lose a game, drop 4 points out of 6. And Rangers start getting close again, I think the noise will increase again. But at the minute, I think they'll get away with it.
I think that that last minute goal at Kilmarnock, don't score that goal, hell to pay at the end of that game. I mean, they've still got to play the likes of the Hearts and Hibs and stuff like that. They've, I think there's bumps ahead of them because I don't think the squad looks particularly great at the moment.
I think, Mick, you're right. I think by saying that when the numbers are released, and that could be any day. Any day now, really, couldn't it?
I said before, it'd be 3 o'clock in the morning, probably, they put them out. So
which is ridiculous because they're accounts that any club in British football would probably be delighted to announce, the profits, the size of the bank account, the amount of money sitting, gathering interest. Any club would be thrilled with that, but this is going to be a problem for Celtic, and I think it will reignite some residual anger from the transfer window.
Oh, absolutely. That's. I mean, usually, I mean, if you've got a 90 million quid in the bank, a big megaphone shouting out, but Celtic will be whispering in their tramp's ear. We're minted.
Right. Well, anyway, I mean, Celtic next up, Partick Thistle on Sunday afternoon for a place in the semi-finals. I don't see any problem there, even if there is a bit of unrest. And I think, you know, Tam, to feed into your sort of argument, win that game, that's you in a semi-final, charge on with the league, you know, hope to get a bit of traction in the Europa League, and maybe Celtic do get through this, and Brendan Rodgers gets to build the momentum that he has done in all these previous seasons.
Yeah, and that's what Celtic will be looking to do. That's what the board will be looking to do, the manager, the players. They'll just be looking to motor on, do what Celtic do. You know, you always felt, you know, at the game on Sunday when Kilmarnock equalised, you're thinking there's still time for Celtic to get a winner. That's just the way Celtic operate. That's the way they've operated for a number of years. Even in your opposing team, when I was playing against Celtic and Rangers at the time, if it was one each with maybe 5-10 minutes to go, you thought they'll still get a winner here. And I think they've got that, Celtic have got that confidence. I know they were a wee bit fortunate at the weekend, but you weren't surprised that they went up the park and scored the winning goal. So
that's what they do.
They'll just look to get through, beat Partick Thistle and charge on the league. But I just don't think it's the noise is going to go away until Brendan comes out one way or the other and says he's going to be staying or he's going to be leaving. You know, when does that statement come out from him? You know, when does he say he's leaving the club or he's staying at the club? You know, I think that's an interesting one for me. Does he do it mid-season? You know, does he do it in the last game of the season? You know, because me personally, Keith, I don't think he'll beat Celtic next year. I don't think there's any chance he'll beat Celtic next year. But when does he get sick of the questions of are you staying? Are you going to Josco's? Listen, I'm going to be leaving at the end of the season.
I think you might have nailed it, Tam. I think it's his aim will be to go out with a domestic treble and basically do a mic drop in the last day. Yeah. I would imagine, unless there are talks, and unless he's given the satisfaction that he's asked for in terms of whoever it was that leaked against him is forcibly removed, Oxford out the front door. And to be honest with you, you know, Mick and I have spoken about this. It does feel, looking at it from the outside, might be wrong, but it feels very much as if he's thrown that gauntlet down at Peter Lawwell, and it just feels to me as if the two of them aren't going to coexist. Maybe in the short term, just to get to the end of this season, but I don't think in the longer term. I think there would need to be a decision made by Dermot Desmond in order to bring everybody back together and to give Brendan Rodgers the authority and the platform that I feel he would want if he was going to commit in the longer term.